Hello, world.
Hello, world. Hello, Matt.
Oh, good morning, Chloe. It's so good to have you back.
Oh, I'm so glad to be back. I had a nice little vacation.
Yeah, it was nice. It was. We missed you, Gwen. I'm sorry. I'm going to be doing that all. It just looks like my glasses are crooked. I don't know. But no, Gwen was fantastic. I loved hanging out
As
with Gwen.
always.
She's just a delight.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I just missed you.
I miss being here. I needed a couple days off. I haven't actually because I work as a personal trainer, and so and because of the pandemic, I've been doing most of my clients virtually.
Mm-hmm.
And so while I've gone places since everything started, I haven't actually taken any full days off.
Right.
So actually taking a couple full days off was really nice.
Yeah, it seems weird.
All my emails.
Yeah, with the quarantine and everything, a day off is it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Because I've been unemployed for a year. It's officially been a year since the people walked up to my coffee counter and said, "Hey, we're gonna need you to shut the cafe down in a couple hours. We'll be back. We're just gonna shut down for the weekend. We'll probably be back in a couple of weeks." And that was a year of weeks ago.
Remember that?
Yeah, remember that? But we started the channel, and I've been super busy and keeping busy and keeping things, but the idea of a day, I'm oh yeah, a day off. I wonder what that's like. I wonder what that is. But then it feels like every day is a day off.
Yeah. Yeah. Without those physical spatial boundaries of you go to work and then you go home. It's difficult to differentiate, but it's important to think about.
It is.
And actually take days off.
Yeah. Well, it is March 15th. It's almost spring. Happy daylight savings time, or happy spring forward time.
Spring forward. How you doing with the time change?
I mean, the time change never really affects me too much. I always get 6 to 7 hours of sleep because I stay up too late and get up too early, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to David Tom. I see you as my boss. Yeah. I mean, I see us as co-workers, David, if anything. But no, it's just, I don't know. I love that the days are going to start getting longer.
Yes. Yeah. So it's going to be the equinox later this week, I believe.
Yeah. Is it the 21st or the 22nd?
I think it's the 21st, but don't quote me on that. Anyway,
I won't.
It just means that the day and the night are the same length.
Yay! Bless you. I love the summer equinox. I love the day that evidently I'm an employer, which is fantastic. I love that I give other people things to do.
I hope that's true.
Let's get that trending. Let's get that trending this trending. Those are
Matt Boss.
Yeah, those are both fine to get trending. We can do
those
that.
Are good.
I remember going to when Abby and I went on our honeymoon, and we went to Iceland was one of our stops on our honeymoon.
Oh,
and
cool.
we went into a Big Lebowski themed bar at I think it was 8:00 at night, 9:00 at night, and it was noon outside. And then when we came out of the bar at 10:30, 11, it was still daylight out, and it's just weird.
Yeah, that was one of the things of I lived up in Alaska for a little while, and in the summer, I have the going into a movie theater, you go in when it's still light out and you come out when it's dark. And so up in Alaska, the sun is kind of just behind the horizon for a couple hours in the middle of the summer. So you go in at like 7 o'clock. You come in at 9 o'clock, and it's still a whole day.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's I could get used to that, I think. I think it would be the dark year, like the time of year when it's just dark all the time. Yeah. Like that would be the hard part for me, I think.
It is, yeah. I mean, that's one of the major reasons I couldn't live up in Alaska, like for realsies, for year round.
Oh yeah, David Thomas also lived in Alaska for a while.
Yeah, he lived in Alaska. Kodiak is like out in the boonies.
Is it?
Yeah. I was in the big city of Wasilla. We have a Target.
Yeah, Alaska Target.
Alaska Target.
Well, Chloe, it is, as I said, it is March 15th. And you know what that means. Beware the Ides of March.
You know, people are really losing the spirit of the Ides of March. It's not about, it's not just about stabbing people. It's about coming together in groups to stab people.
Right. Yeah. Well, it turns out the Ides of March, I did a little research, and by a little research, I mean I read a paragraph on a much larger website.
Yeah.
That it said the Ides simply referred to the first full moon of a given month. So it meant it usually fell between the 13th and the 15th.
Interesting.
So it was, thanks to Willie Shakespeare, though, the Ides of March became a kind of a scary thing.
Yeah. Is this supposed to be bad luck?
I don't know that it's, well, I mean, it was for Caesar.
It was pretty bad luck for Caesar.
Yeah. Speaking of which, our fact of the day today was on this date in 44 BC, Julius Caesar stabbed to death in the Roman Senate. Also, on this day in 1977, Three's Company premiered on ABC. So,
wow. How fun!
Yeah, those are two fun facts.
Yeah,
for your March 15th.
Yeah.
And also, the trivia question today is on this fact, not the other fact. So here's your trivia question right here, which we'll talk about at the end of the show. Three's Company aired from 1977 to 1984 with 172 episodes. Can you name the two less successful shows that were spinoffs? So there were two spinoffs of Three's Company. Each had much less than 172 episodes.
I didn't even realize they had spinoffs.
Yeah. So there you go. That's your trivia question for the day.
I'll be excited to find out what those are.
Yeah, stick around at the end of the show. We're also going to do, maybe if we have some time later on, I've got some pop sonnets. So we're going to give a little shout out to good old Willie Shakespeare later on in the show. So stick around for that.
I'm very excited.
I'm very I always say that I'm excited about the guests because I am always excited about the guests.
You're always hyped.
I'm always hyped for these guests. Rachel Andelman, who is one of our producers, she does an amazing job finding guests for this show, as well as lots of other shows on the channel, but mainly our show. Pardon me. So I'm very excited. We've got two amazing guests today. We're going to bring out our first guest now. He is a writer. He is a journalist. He's a comedian. He's got albums. He's got books. He's got articles. I'm very excited to chat with him. Let's bring out Brock Wilbur. Brock, good morning.
But he doesn't have children. I really wanted it to end with something that was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
That
works.
What is it that you want that isn't on the list? Well, let's check it out.
Brock, how are you this morning?
Awake? No.
Awake? Honestly, that's all we can hope for. Where are you calling in from?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay, so it is a little early there for the Midwest.
Plus the daylight savings. It's a whole thing.
Oh man.
I'm in Los Angeles, but the call is from Kansas City. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm very much still asleep. We're here.
Well, Brock, thank you so much for getting up early and joining us on this wildly popular Twitch morning show.
This is a gift to Rachel, who isn't here. Thanks,
she
Rachel.
is here, actually. She is in the chat right now, taking notes, and I get very extensive notes after every show from Rachel. So this interview has to go well, or
don't mess it up, Brock.
Don't mess it up, Brock. Okay, don't mess this up.
I actually like the idea of getting noted to death by Rachel over a Twitch stream. That seems like inevitably where I'll end up. He's got albums, he's got books, no children, noted to death by Rachel.
Yeah,
she's aggressively in the chat, as we can see on screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Brock, so I found out in my research of you, which, like research for the rest of the show, happens about 45 minutes before the show starts.
That far early? I thought you were doing it like in real time. I was just doing banter so you could Google me. So
I'm like, shit,
we really appreciate that. Most days that's how it goes. But today we were prepared
for the most part.
Yeah.
I did have to wake up early and make the clip montage because I forgot to do that last night. But that's later. That's later on in the show.
Well, you were prepared insofar as you didn't know that Frasier is a spinoff of. You know what? We'll. I don't want to spoil the trivia. It's fine.
We'll circle back.
Yeah, I was like, Frasier's a spinoff, and then I was like, don't be an idiot. You live in Boston. Don't be a tool.
Don't be an idiot.
Frasier's a spinoff of Boston.
Just
Boston legal, you see.
It's the city.
It was him and James
Boston.
Spader.
Seattle is a spinoff of Boston.
Everything's just a spinoff of James Spader. That's what the last 2 decades were.
Honestly, I would not.
The MCU?
I'm into that. I could do some more Ultron. I would love to have Ultron.
You know what I
love
can't get over about James Spader is that he was like, what was it, 16 Candles? He was like the hot, popular kid in a John Hughes movie.
Oh, in several.
He was in more than one?
Yeah. And Less Than Zero.
Was he in St. Elmo's Fire? Was James Spader in St. Elmo's Fire? I mean, if only I were sitting at the internet.
Rachel.
Only we had
Rachel.
Oh, man.
She's gonna have lots of notes.
Rachel.
You're gonna get noted on that. I'm so sorry.
So many notes.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
Anyway,
once you're done with the show, you can go back to sleep. And I have a production meeting right after this show. So
this show is now just a James Spader fan chat.
It's true.
Welcome to the Spadecast.
I mean, I could talk about James Spader forever, but what I really want to talk about today is your work in the NXIVM story, because my wife and I just finished a couple weeks ago. We finished The Vow on HBO Max, which effed me up. I was like, holy crap. And then I see in your bio that you did a lot of reporting on that. I mean, talk to us about that. What was that like?
So right after the election 2016, like most other people, I was like, hey, what am I doing with my life? Oh, fuck this. This doesn't matter. I need to do something that matters because, oh God, look what happened. And so started looking for a change out of the world of writing for video games and doing stand-up comedy, and got an offer from a company, and they were like, hey, we'd like you to be our editor-in-chief at a new website. We are fully funded, and what we are doing is we are trying to stamp out fake news. And I was like, that's reasonable, because like I just spent the last year trying to teach my mom that if something doesn't end in .com, like it's not real. Whatever you clicked on Facebook from your friend, like it isn't real. And like, thank God I laid that foundation, because didn't help with that election. But at this point, she's like, my friends say that Bill Gates is putting a microchip in them. I'm like, and she's like, and that's not real. I'm like, thank you, Mom. You're on top of it now.
You did it.
Of all the boomers I know, you fucking got it.
Listen,
so yeah.
I think we really just need to start a school for boomers about this very topic of like recognizing fake news.
Yeah.
And the whole class is just, if it doesn't end in .com, it's not real.
The number of times I asked the question and she'd sort of like pause and be like, it ends in .de.nx. .co.edu.nx, and I was like, okay, well, it's just too many dots already. That's where we're starting with a problem. So I was like, okay, I'm really interested in this thing. And they're like, we have this whole system that we've developed for this new company. It is a system of like determining truthfulness, and like it is a process, and you will what we intend to do is take things from across the spectrum, everything from like CNN to Fox News to the wildest parts of the internet, and like really apply this scale to it and assign sort of like a Rotten Tomatoes score of how real it is. And I was like, I'm very interested in what that is.
Yeah,
I like
sounds
the idea
amazing.
of that work, and it seems practical and good. And then they were like, by the way, before you take the job, you need to come up here to the woods outside of Albany for 6 weeks and take an unpaid course in ethics that we run. And I was like, what happens in the woods? And every time I asked that, they were like,
don't worry about it.
Just shut your pretty mouth.
You're so much prettier when you don't talk.
Yeah. Why don't you just come to the fucking woods, man? Why are you asking me?
Okay,
your car and come to the fucking woods.
Percentage wise, how tempted were you actually to spend 5 weeks in the woods of Albany?
Very. And it started because I was showing the emails to my wife, and it went from sort of like, well, this is an incredible offer with good pay attached that I'm somehow not paid for a couple of weeks, but at the end of woods camp time, I've never had that in a job before, but like, I don't know, journalism is a burning trash fire, so maybe this is what it takes. And then we start joking.
It's just a retreat. Maybe it's just
a new system.
Well, it is a retreat in a way.
Oh God!
And I started joking with her, and we were like, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be hilarious if this thing in the woods was a cult? And then me and some friends started tracking actually like the money behind it, and like domain registrations, things like that, and realized that it was this. The site was tied to this place called Nexium, and Nexium was tied to Keith Raniere. And Keith was tied to a cult that no one would report on because they'd get sued into fuck hell. And so like that started me down the road of like, oh, I'm going to report not on him, but on this site and what it feeds into. And the site was called The Knife of Aristotle. If that was going to give you a clue, like it was like, oh, okay, yeah. Our truthfulness site is something that sounds like a freshman year like philosophy student that's taken one class would name like his club. So I don't know.
I've got the link to that story I'm gonna put in the chat there, so you can click on that.
Yeah, it turned out that amongst many other things, Nexium had all these fronts that everything from like yoga to acting, just like the Scientology playbook, to one that was just about like male feminists, that all sort of like revolved around like, okay, we'll just come up and do the woods thing, and by the end of it, you want to work for us for free, and what you came up here to do in the first place doesn't matter anymore. So like there was never going to be the website, even though they like conned a bunch of journalists into coming and doing it for like a year. Oh
man.
Yeah, it was fascinating. So anyway, that led me into a couple of years of interviewing people full time, most every day, about like a decade of trauma and sexual abuse that they'd suffered at the hands of Keith Raniere. So
yeah,
my thing came out sort of within the Nexium story, within the vow, sort of before the big news story broke about the branding by about, I beat it by about 6 months.
Oh, wow.
But
so it was you, and then the whole Allison Mack story came out after that.
It was me and then Allison Mack down the road. And I have friends that are very defensive of me that they're like, why aren't you in the documentary? I want you to be there. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk about it anymore. I worked on this for like 3 years and like I have such trauma from listening to other people's trauma. And the last thing I want is fuck asses on Twitter being like, yo, so what about this? Like, I don't want to play babysitter to that anymore. So I'm just like, I'm so glad that an explainer exists now that I can just push people towards and be like, this, but imagine that I'm somewhere in the middle for like 5 minutes. And that's me.
Wow. That had to have been terrifying. Like the whole thing had to have been just a terrifying experience.
The piece did result in them having private eyes follow me around Los Angeles for about 6 months, me and my wife. It was... Back when there was just like one journalist to harass before everything, like thank God for Allison Mack and the branding thing, because that meant that like I wasn't the only person that like they didn't have the money to hire that many PIs at that point, so they sort of gave up on me. They had a guy with like he wasn't trying to stay hidden. He always had like a camera with a gigantic like foot-long lens, and he was like taking pictures of me at like my local Subway, and I was like, hey, I see you, you're like 20 feet away. I know that this is just intimidation, and like there's nothing about the tuna melt that I'm ordering that makes you not rapists. So like I don't know what this is about.
What's in the tuna?
You should just start posing with the sandwiches like you're on like a photo spread. Oh man. Well, thank you for chatting about that. We'll change the subject, but thank you so much for that's one of the things that like I said, my wife and I watched that documentary, and it's like good on you for coming out and helping out with that. So let's talk about your video games. So you say you write for video games.
Yes.
What video games have you written for?
I spent the last 2 years working on League of Legends.
Okay, very cool.
Which is a video game, apparently. I'm learning now. I thought it was a sandwich of some sort.
All the hero talk. You're like, oh, it must be a sandwich.
It was actually a great gig because I got it because I don't play League of Legends. The gig was sort of the game's been around for like 15 years, and they write stories, and there's going to be like a whole like MCU style like movie universe and stuff. But they've never had an internal like Bible, like a lore centric thing.
Cool.
Which is what most people start with. And instead they just got 15 years into this, and they're like, we have stories where somebody has 8 brothers and they're all older, and then in the next story they have 20 younger sisters, and like none of that lines up. And they were like, we want to hire a small team that comes in like on the secret and just like writes the Bible of all this, and then when you find stuff that doesn't agree, you can get rid of it. And they're like, do you like this? And I was like, I don't like any fucking wizard shit at all. I don't like this game. And they're like, perfect. You can come in, you can drown every baby. Like you have you're not like, oh no, not this character,
it's honestly
anything but that.
It's better that way, to be like outside of the situation, so you're not too attached to things that don't make sense.
If I'd cared, I would have hated it. So
I don't play League of Legends. I play video games, but I'm bad at them. And League of Legends is one of those games that if you're bad at, then you just get yelled at by other people that are good at it. And you're like, stop yelling at me. This is a video game.
I don't know. I'm in my 30s. Playing video games with strangers online is not my thing anymore. I just can't. It's too much pressure. Also, who has the fucking time? And I say that as somebody locked in pandemic. Like, if I don't have the time now, I'm not going to have it soon.
Luckily, I have a ton of time to play video games, but I also have a lot of friends that play video games. So it's usually me playing with people.
Okay, Matt, stop fucking bragging. It's too early for that.
Well,
I've got so many friends.
Very popular.
I have so many friends, and I'm so good at video games.
Who has friends? Rachel Ondelman, the booker of the show. Yeah, getting people to wake up early.
She has over 11,000 friends on Twitter.
So many friends.
Thank goodness for her.
Friends.
Yeah.
As we know, every follower a friend.
Every follower a friend, and every friend a follower. This is the new Rachel cult that she's starting. It's going to be great.
You know,
we're not going to go anywhere near Albany, but it'll be.
I don't think we need Albany. Let's agree on that.
I'm not sure anyone needs Albany.
Yeah.
Although I haven't really been there, so I couldn't really say. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I've made friends on Twitter, and
now who's bragging?
We have nice little conversations, and I feel like I know them.
Do their names end in .com or in something else?
It's mostly .edu.
Yeah.
For some reason.
The only blog I follow is Creed Thoughts, which is, so you also, let's see. So you split your time. Do you split your time between Kansas City and LA, or do you live in LA and do stuff in Kansas City, or vice versa? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I did split my time for a bit. In the last year and a half, I took over as the editor-in-chief of Kansas City's alt paper, The Pitch.
I'm sorry, what is it? What's it called again?
It's called The Pitch.
The Pitch.
I know what you thought you heard, and you're right. I am the bitch. No,
closer, so you got to watch out for it.
Yeah, The Pitch has been a 41-year institution in Kansas City. It is our alt paper, just like Westward is Denver's, or Portland's got their own. So we're one of about 24 left in the country that are doing what we do. And it was really cool to take over a free magazine that depends on live events and local sponsors 2 months before the pandemic set in. Having left my job at the biggest video game in the world to do local print journalism, I'm the dumbest motherfucker in the world. I shouldn't be a guest on anyone's show. What I do is wildly important and good and valuable, and I just want to be writing about wizards again. I messed up so badly.
And yeah, you hate wizards. So the fact that you want to go back and write about them.
I took local journalism because I just thought, okay, no wizards. We're out of the wizard game now. That's fine.
Yeah, little did you know, Kansas City full of wizards.
If you think there are no wizards in Kansas City, you're out of your mind.
There used to be. There aren't now. I've been here a while.
Thanks to Brock Wilbur, single-handedly got rid of all the wizards.
Breaking up the wizard ring.
Thankfully, no wizards watch this show, so you're golden there.
Yeah.
So how have you tried to like pivot the pitch, or like what are you doing, or like are you still with the pitch?
Oh yeah. That's absolutely what I do full time. Oh, my dog just showed up. Hello, dog.
Oh, good
morning, dog. Hello, wife. Hello, dog.
Oh my goodness.
My wife. Oh,
so many friends.
Uh-oh. Yes, bring the dog on. Yeah, that's not a dog. That's a cat. I know animals. Oh, adorable.
She's let go of that. You're okay. Kimball, say hello.
Hey, what's your kitty's name?
He loves this. Dr. Kitty Kimball from The Fugitive.
We know you didn't kill your wife. It's okay.
She's so precious.
You still don't care.
Okay. I'm never going to see her again. You guys got a real good shot of her there.
I'm still not convinced you actually have a dog, though. That's the thing. It's like, but I mean, hey, if you want to call your cat a dog, I'm into it.
I have a dog, and it's not a man who self-identified as a wizard that I am taking care of by putting a shock collar on him.
Oh man, that got weird quick. That took a turn.
This is the point at which you think this got weird?
Yeah, this is the point. This is
you started with jokes about my trauma. Like, let's go back to that.
Oh man. So talk to us about what the pitch is doing now, like with the pandemic and everything. Like how, like what have you been doing with that?
Sure. So local journalism serves a very important purpose across this, which been an incredible year for that, which started with, oh, wow, this is in, and people don't trust anything anymore. So reporting about the pandemic, reporting about the truth just behind numbers and statistics, and like now at this point, like where to even get like a vaccine, things like that are somehow like rebellious in the eyes of some people who share a different reality. So like there's a lot of anger directed at you, which is it's a new thing for me as a journalist, because me and my wife both come from national journalism places, and when somebody writes to you there where there's some comments or you get an email, it's always somebody that like their threat is weird and scary, but you're like, this person could be from absolutely anywhere on the planet. Who gives a shit? They're never gonna like be near me. It's fine. But when you're in local journalism, you'll see like the Facebook comments from somebody that says something absolutely terrifying, and you're like, oh, that Greg? He's like, he lives a block away from me. He absolutely knows where I live. And so you're like, oh, okay, this all hits home in a different way. But that also means that the positive things about local journalism hit equally well, where you're like, oh, we shut down that business that was just a center for abuse, or we helped lift up this band that no one knew about, and now they're like up for a Grammy. And you're like, okay, wow. Oh, so like things can matter. And Kansas City as like the 10th biggest city in the country, and like a future Austin, like it is a really incredible mid-level. It is the smallest big city in the country, and so an incredible place to be like, I think what we do here matters, which is part of why me and my wife moved out from Los Angeles, which was, we were both very politically active, and we did a lot of work, and it was like, none of this changes anything, because most of the things that we were doing, like you can't call your senator in California and be like, I want you to vote this way, because they'd be like, that's already, it's my bill, I wrote it. Like we were already on the same side here. Right. There was nothing to do. And at some point we were like, what if we moved to a place that's like divided right down the middle of the city between two different red states, and there's a lot of work to be done. And we were like, okay, that seems more interesting, because quite frankly, the Planned Parenthood here in LA doesn't need our help. It's staying open. The other ones, they just get shut down one per week. So let's go fight for that instead. So
that's amazing that you picked up and moved to an area like that's a great way to look at it. You're like, hey, everybody thinks the way we think out here. We need to go somewhere where we can help change minds.
You hear enough about the stuff about like, okay, well, if Silver Lake in Los Angeles moved to Minnesota, we could flip the entire state blue overnight. Like that's all it takes. Like we just have to leave the coastal towers. And I think we were some of the first to be like, but what if we did, and in exchange we got a house for what we were paying for a 1-bedroom in Hollywood? It was like, you know what? That's a pretty acceptable deal ethically.
And I'm sure not just a house, like probably a fairly large house.
And I get to keep a wizard dog. I get to keep a dog now. I couldn't have a wizard in my place in LA.
Couldn't have a wizard dog.
Yeah.
In LA.
I just imagine that he's looking up into the eyes of a wizard that has a shock collar on and floppy ears.
I kind of do wish my dog did have a pointy hat and a long white beard. Yeah.
I think that would improve most dogs.
Having a wizard seems bad. Having a dog is good. Something in between would be acceptable.
Correct.
We're having fun on the internet. Okay.
Just having a good time. Having fun on the internet. Awesome. Brock, thank you so much for joining us today. So you can check out brockwilbur.com. Follow Brock Wilbur at Brock Wilbur on Twitter. Do you have anything big coming up that you wanna talk about? Do you have any projects in the works?
I got the second vaccine, so you can find me everywhere. I will be everywhere, on every airplane, licking every public bathroom, toilet flusher handle, coming into your house and wrecking up the place and singing a punk rock song that you don't know.
Just breathing directly into people's mouths.
Bang, 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 bang. Yeah. spit in my mouth. I'm fine with it now. Nothing can kill me ever. That's what I've got coming up.
That's how the vaccine works. And you know that because you heard it on the internet. Because twitch.com ends in a .com. So you know that you can.
Everything here is factual.
Everything here is factual. Thanks, Brock. I'm going to let you go back to sleep or go back to bed or get up and start your day. Hang out with your wizard and your wife and your dog.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great rest of your day, Brock. Thanks.
Yay!
Oh man, so cool. What a funny dude. BrockWilbur.com. Check him out.
Check him out. He's got some great stand-up videos on there.
Yeah. Very cool stuff. I also love his he's got I'll just throw this up here real quick. I love the paper doll thing on his website. So if you want a little art project, amazing. You can have your very own Brock Wilbur paper doll.
Right what there. An exciting time to be alive.
What an exciting time we live in. Oh man, and yeah, that Nexium stuff is so nuts. If you haven't watched The Vow on HBO Max, check it out. It is terrifying, but also very informative.
Yeah, it just the thought that like cults are like everywhere.
Yeah,
very upsetting.
And the thing is it's like it starts off and you're like, wow, this is a good way to think. You're like, these people have and then you keep watching and you're like, okay, no.
Yeah.
But it only takes one guy. It takes one guy to be just be like, hey, I'm God. Yeah. And it just doesn't, so yeah, check out The Vow if you want to get freaked out. Let's move on to something else. Please.
Yeah.
So we did mention that today is the Ides of March, and we did mention that Shakespeare had a little hand in making the Ides of March the kind of creepy thing that it is today.
Yeah.
So I thought, Chloe, I would test your Shakespeare knowledge a little bit.
Oh boy.
And Chloe and I both worked together on an improvised Shakespeare project called Something Wicked back in the before times. And where we would improvise a full 5-act Shakespearean play. It got real weird. It got real silly.
It was one of my favorite things.
Yeah. And one of the things that we found in kind of our research of different like language exercises was a Tumblr called popsonnet.tumblr.com. And they would take pop songs and turn them into Shakespearean sonnets. So Chloe, I have 2 sonnets here. Okay. I'm going to read a sonnet to you, and then I would like you to tell me, chat, you're allowed to play this as well, what popular song this sonnet is describing.
All right, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Sonnet number 1. With drama rampant in this coastal town, 'tis difficult to mine own self be true. Yet still I craft my works of great renown. Each day sees from my quill a rhyme's debut. So here's a poem writ for my friend's delight, to cheer you at this libertine soiree. Oh, we may merry make so late at night, for the lady of the household is away. As revelry abounds, my cup is filled. I'll slowly ride the streets upon my steed, whilst quaffing juice and juniper distilled, and smoking pipes packed with a noted weed. How fiscal thoughts weigh capital in mind, I'll weigh on thoughts of capital in kind. You have a very confident look on your face.
Is this
But before you guess, I'd like to see if the chat has any guesses, because I know you're going to get it right away.
Chat, have you any guesses?
Chat, put thy guesses into yon chat box.
Brandish thine quill.
Well, we've got no guesses in the chat. So, Chloe, what is this? What is this song?
This is a little Snoop Dogg.
It's a little Snoop Dogg.
A little snippet on gin and juice with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Yeah. How fiscal thoughts weigh capital in mind. I'll weigh on thoughts of capital in kind. Yes. Gin and juice.
Gin and juice. Delicious.
Delicious. It's that one pop song about money and parties and drugs.
That is
Tara,
correct.
you nailed it.
Nailed it. Right on the head.
Done. Yeah, I know the one. The one we just said.
We do.
All right. Here's your next one. This one might be a little harder. I don't know. Maybe not. Here we go. No oracle did e'er prognosticate thy future or its fortunes grim convey. Nor did some wizened sage to thee relate in faith that life was gonna be this way. 'Tis true, thy prospects hold no cause for mirth. Thine occupation is a frightful joke. The money thou'st amassed is but a dearth, and thou canst romance from no heart provoke. Thou feelest thou lackest the speed to race ahead of all thy woes and leave thee in the clear. Yet when cruel fate hath once more ruined thy day, thy week, thy month, or in thy year, sweet friend, I shall be evermore there for thee, for thou in turn art always there for me. Not hard at all, it turns out.
Not a difficult one. Matt, I thought you were going to challenge me a little bit more.
Well, crap.
Well, this is the Friends theme song.
It is the Friends theme song. All right. We'll
that day, the week, the month. That's a dead giveaway, that one.
Yeah, it was. Okay. You know what? Fine. Here's one that's
a little more difficult.
Let's see. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
This is off the cuff. This is here we go. For far too long I had been with my bride, and so while she did soundly sleep in bed, I sat awake or on the other side, where I a most flirtatious missive read. If thou didst enjoy sweet drinks from tropic lands, remaining in the summer rain to dance, and making love upon the distant sands, then come with me, we'll forge a new romance. I answered swift to plan our rendezvous, imagining our fanciful new life. Yet when I called upon my mistress new, I there discovered no one but my wife. We each for newer love had sly conspired, to find we both the same new joys desired.
If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
That was good. That was a nice little poem.
That's a nice little sonnet.
Poem. A sonnet,
if you will.
A petite poem.
Un petite sonnet.
Un petite sonnet.
So there you go. There's some pop song sonnets for you.
I love it.
And now we're going to take just a little break and take a look at what happened last week on 2MB Studios. It was a good week last week, and I'm excited to see these clips. So let's roll that footage.
Roll that beautiful footage.
100%. Yeah.
You throw your flip flop in the air.
And it's just 20 minutes. Man, I lost my flip.
I'm like, dude, fuck.
It's your flop. It's your flop? Whose flop is this? I don't know, man. I got 2 left flops. Dude, I got 4 flippers over here. Dude, I'm touching the bottom of people's shoes. Fucking In-N-Out catering.
Saying, I am not from an immigrant family, which doesn't make me better than anyone else. It just means my family does not give a shit about the royal family. So I don't know about them at all. I know there's a pedophile, there's an old lady with the corgis, there's the swirl couple, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and then like there's the woman who died and everyone was sad. That's what I know.
Cash and paint all back and every skull is gonna bust, and you can't stop us, cause we're the queens of the castle. Throw down your dirty rascals, throw down. Throw down. Throw down your dirty rascals, throw down. Throw down.
Interview right now. Let me get you back. It's my brother's birthday, so I hear him being reckless right now.
Oh yeah, we'll let you go soon. But yeah, that was only a little bit nefarious, man. It was like
I was trying to keep it up speed before once because I was just like, man, like I had like this is my second go with the first one. I was just like, why I'm like making villainous themes and shit. Like this is oldest. This is like peaceful song. Like, he
doesn't sing.
What does it do?
It speaks.
What does it say?
It doesn't have a set thing that it says. It says what it's thinking.
Okay, what's it thinking right now?
I'm not going to disturb it on your behalf.
Classic birdie.
Oh, well, I suppose that's fair. Okay.
I'm so sorry, Kevin. Yours was.
Yeah, all right. Nebula. Stop the war. Lord. The whole middle name. Stop the war.
Nebula, stop the war. Lawrence. Chris, your answer is Topeka. Cornfed Lawrence.
Lawrence, yeah. There's a
well done. Question number 2. This game show about food shopping meets this Cobra Kai advice.
May.
Supermarket, sweep the leg.
Supermarket,
damn it.
sweep the leg is
You
correct.
beat me to it.
That was all
Everybody
boom, boom,
had
boom.
that.
Everybody had that one.
Everyone can get a point for that one.
What are you reading these days, Mish?
Wanted to surprise you. These are definitely my books.
Yeah, can you read us a passage from one of those books, maybe?
Yep.
My book.
Hang on. Should I grab one off the shelf from just out of camera here?
Okay, good.
That one has notes in it. That's fun.
Yep.
3 to the 4. Everybody drunk out on the dance floor. Baby girl, ass jiggle like she want more. Like she a groupie, I ain't even on tour. Maybe cause she heard that I rhyme hardcore. Or maybe cause she heard that I buy out the stores. Bottom of the ninth and a man about to score. If not,
Barnaby. Owe me money, Jessica.
Ghosts and ghouls, let me be. I'm an old lady trying to sleep.
We want to say hi.
Good. I'm glad.
Is this your side hustle? Are you an Audible book reader?
You know, I am not, but I would like to be. So if anyone has any connections.
Honestly, same. Let's wait for both of us. I don't even know how to point. Actually, all three. Yeah, wait.
Yeah, all three of us.
Do you need our voice? That was fantastic, Sarah.
Yes.
Hey, hit me, hoof me.
What? Hi, this is Roger. The fight hasn't even started yet. You're a very belligerent Greek symbol.
I'm a little on edge. Fight till I know.
Okay.
Who's raised by a fist.
Wow.
Oh.
Here, she's right here, mother.
Hello.
You brought your mom here? Hello.
So there it is.
There it is.
Last week. Great week. This is a great week. And we are, as far as like a channel update here, real quick, going into the Twitch stream manager here, we are at 960 followers.
Wow.
Which I'm very excited about. I was really hoping we'd get to 1,000 by this last weekend, but Rachel brought me back to reality and was like, there's that's not going to happen. So maybe this weekend we'll get
this weekend
we'll get to 1,000 followers. So if you haven't followed or subscribed to
we're so close
to MB Studios, please do it now. Because that would be amazing.
Rachel again bringing us back to reality.
That's what Rachel does.
Way.
Rachel is my tether to the real world.
Prove Rachel wrong.
Yes. Hashtag prove Rachel wrong.
Hashtag prove
but
Rachel
just
wrong.
On this. Hashtag prove Rachel wrong, but just on this.
But just on this.
Yeah, this is just
Get us more followers.
Get us more followers.
Tell your friends. Please.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tell your friends. Follow 2MB Studios. We got stuff going on all the time.
All the ding dang time.
All the ding dang time. So come check it out. All right. I think we should move forward.
Onward
and upward. And I want to make sure that we have plenty of time for the musical guest because I'm very excited to bring out our musical guest today. They are very, very funny. They are a singer, songwriter, comedian, and on their bio on the website, this is quite possibly one of the favorite things I read this morning. Jay's been called the saddest man in America by Tucker Carlson. Which high praise from that human polyp. So let's bring on Jay Malsky. Jay, good morning.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Wow.
So you got Tucker to talk about you.
I did. You know, the story behind that is that in 2017, I was on a family trip to Disney, and it was the same week that they had opened up the Hall of Presidents with Donald Trump as the animatronic. For those who don't know about the Hall of Presidents, it's basically a place where parents who were sick of their children can go into an air-conditioned movie theater for 20 minutes and watch the history of the presidents, which is, not at all factual.
The Disney history.
A lot of racism of the past. But then at the very, very end, all of these animatronic presidents come up and start reciting the Constitution or the Constitution. And then whoever is the current president, they have one made and they start reciting the oath of office. And so it was the first week that it had happened in Disney. And I went in and I just, as soon as Trump started speaking, or the animatronic, I stood up and I just would not stop screaming, "Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up!" until they shut down the ride.
Jay, it's times like this I wish I could high five people in real life. That would be so satisfying now.
Even the security guard who had to escort me out was like, I really kind of love this, actually.
Thank you.
He's like, here. He's like, here. Take a ride on Space Mountain on me.
Take a fast pass.
Here, take a fast pass. Here you go. You want to get upgraded at the Hoopty-Doo review? Here's a ticket for you.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Disney. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that Disney has done some pretty.
They're not perfect.
They're not perfect.
No, and they never will be. But you know what? For me, it still is the happiest place on earth. Even if my parents were mortified that I was being interviewed by the Secret Service. during our last trip there.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Oh,
Yeah,
magic.
absolutely. And I mean, you can't beat the mimosas at the Animal Kingdom brunch. They're just amazing.
Yeah,
There's
it's worth it. It's
Animal
worth it
Kingdom
for the
is my
Secret
favorite.
Service interview.
Yeah. Yeah. When my wife and I went, we didn't go into the Hall of Presidents because I had no desire to. I was like,
why would you? It's very boring.
Yeah. I was like, I'll ride the Matterhorn ride like 5 times, but I'm not going to go into the Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, you're correct. It's exactly what you said it was. It's just a place for parents to be cool and to rest their eyes from all the bright colors and noise. Like,
maybe take a nap.
Take a little nap while their kid
That's
is.
what people were mad about. Not that I interrupted Trump. That
You interrupted their naps.
You're like, we came here to relax, and now we're going to have to come back and sit through it again because we couldn't nap.
Yeah.
MLAV backing me up there on those mimosas. It's some sort of tropical fruit fusion juice that they put with. Oh, so good. Oh man, my mouth is watering. Sorry, I gotta go. I gotta go make one.
I've got to go to Disney. I'm gonna just finish out. Let's talk about your music.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I could talk about Disney for hours. That could be
honestly me too. I am the person that plans like the family trips and like plans the dinners and the fast passes and all that. Many spreadsheets are involved. So
it's so good. It's so good. But anyway, let's talk about your music because you have a lot of it, and I love it, and I'm very excited to get it out there. When did you start doing music?
You know, it's truly something that I have done since I was like since I could remember. I just loved music. I was attached to it. And the first time I heard Whitney Houston sing, I was just like, wow, this is my life, I think. And my mother recently told me that I would have kids over as play dates and make them listen to the Bodyguard soundtrack. And then they didn't have any like play dates anymore. And they were like, this is weird. So I guess since then, I taught myself to play the piano, and my parents bought me this like old piano they found on the side of the road. So I don't know who they paid, but we got it down into the basement, and I've just been writing music ever since. And it never really came into full focus until I started doing comedy, and I was like, oh, I can merge both these things. I can like make people laugh and also, sing and play the piano. And it's,
that's such a wonderful, wonderful combo. As someone that grew up listening to mostly comedy albums, like while the other kids were listening to top 40 stuff, I was listening to like Weird Al Yankovic and Ray Stevens and other, just whatever I could get my hands on that was like Dr. Demento all day. I would listen to that stuff all day.
I listen to a lot of Wisconsin-based parody music.
What is Wisconsin-based parody music?
Yeah, Chloe.
A lot of it is about hunting, fishing, shad rap.
So country music?
That's what we call country music.
Yeah,
Wisconsin parody music,
but cooler.
I actually just moved into a new place with that's why all our walls are pretty bare. But my roommate, who's a very good friend of mine, they said, I warned them when we moved in. I was like, okay, so I know we have a couple of these like Google home minis. I do unironically listen to country music. And even with that warning, I don't think they were fully prepared with the amount of like bad music. And I defend myself by saying, I know it's not good. Some of it's good,
right? But some
of it is just so silly. I can't help listen to it.
What's your, who's your favorite country artist?
Winona Judd. She really is.
Oh, yeah.
She is like just top there for me. But right now I'm obsessed with Kane Brown, who sings these really, really, just bad pop songs. And I love it. I can't help it.
I was a DJ at a country music radio station in the late 90s. early 2000s. So I got a lot of, you know, old school,
That was
like
the
back when
golden
back in Garth Brooks's heyday.
Shania Twain,
Aaron Tippin, Shania Twain,
Oh.
Marty Stewart, Travis Tritt. Like I listened to.
You know, I
listened to a
didn't
lot of
realize
that.
it at the time, but Shania Twain is very funny.
Yeah, she was in. Wasn't she in an episode of?
Oh yeah, she was in an episode of Broad City.
Broad City.
Yeah.
I actually went to see her. She was on tour, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. And I went to see her in concert. And I was laughing at how funny it was because she was just like almost a little uncomfortable with all the showmanship of it. But they had like, it was clear at one point they just had her like singing You're Still the One, but like on a giant swing. And then there was some guy dressed in a military, like an army uniform, and he was just running in place. What is happening? She's like, okay, that's not that song.
I imagine the guy in the military fatigues running in place, kind of like Jason Sudeikis in What's Up with That, where he's just doing the Running Man in place, just the whole concert,
the whole time. Yeah.
One of the first concerts I ever went to was Reba McEntire.
Here's your
And
one chance. Fancy, don't let me down.
that's what she opened with, and she came out in a little mini taxi cab. And stepped out in this floor-length fur coat, and just, you know, oh man, I love that song so much. In fact, I'll probably listen to Fancy as soon as this show is over.
You have to.
Yeah.
For me, I just think that's what's so fun about country music is that it doesn't take itself too seriously, but you wouldn't know that upon it.
Well, at the same time, being very serious about them.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, and we still are going to talk more about country music, but I feel like we should let you play some of your music, since that's one of the main reasons why you wanted to come on the show. What are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play, let's just see how we're feeling. I'm going to sing a song from my EP that I released at the end of last year. And this is a song that I love singing in New York because, the gays and the gals, they love it. They relate to it. It doesn't make so much sense right now because we're in lockdown and you can't just have casual sex. But, for me, I don't know. I don't know about you both. I personally am single and I love being single because I like to just have, I like to do it. It gets, I will say, I like my independence, but it gets lonely sometimes. And I think to myself, well, I wish I could sometimes have sex on demand. And then I remember I'm gay. And so, yes, I can. And so that's what this song is about.
Both worlds.
All right.
I can't wait until we kind of really open up again. And then, I can open up again. I just don't wanna be alone right now. None of my steady grinds are home. They're out of town, all been up scruff, just seeing who's around. Mama's in desperate need of a good dig down. Okay, that happened fast. He can host in his DDF. Confirmed I'm down to smash. So I text my BFF. If I die tonight, 1720 Pioneer Drive. Look there first if you think I'm not alive. If I die tonight, he says it's 9 inches and his name is Blue. There's a pretty good chance that none of that's true. I'm probably cut up in a million little pieces after Blue choked me with 100 Reese's Pieces. Okay, that part I enjoyed, but now I'm kind of annoyed 'cause I died tonight. Okay, so blue is real and I'm not dead. LOL, I'm shocked that hasn't happened yet. It's crazy how we risk our lives for sex. Also, what a burden we put on our friends. Great, now I can't sleep. It's fucking 2 a.m. Just then my bestie slides into my DMs. If I die tonight, 799 Old Parkview Road. Enter through the back, there's a dungeon down below. If I die tonight, and you find me in a mask that was part of this thing, I'm just giving you the facts, I'm not ashamed of my kink. It's probably all above board, this is just my paranoia. But if it's another Jonestown or that sex called Noshnish Borum, I can send it on FetLife, but not to mass suicide. If I die tonight. I get lonely when I'm on the road. I get wound up, I lose control. And just last week I was in DC with no one around. I had to send this tweet. If I die tonight, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Yes, you heard that right, there's no need to be confused. If I die tonight, I fucked Joe Biden and we got caught. Dr. Jill walked in and she's stronger than I thought. She threw things at her husband and honestly I loved it. Secret Service didn't stop them cause they're probably part of QAnon. I can't say more than this, cause they're probably listening. If I die tonight, if I die.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good reminder, since a lot of us haven't been dating for a while.
You gotta
just
text a
give me
friend.
your address. Yes.
You gotta text a friend. It's that simple.
Oh man, this sounds to me like the second or third song of a musical, like some sort of. This is like the Somewhere That's Green kind of song. So yeah, what I'm saying is you need to write a musical because that's perfect. Oh man.
You know, before all this, the last chorus there was obviously about Donald Trump. But then when I was like, oh, I'm going to sing this song, how am I going to frame it? You know, I'm just so happy he's not president. You know, I had that moment of like, oh, damn, of course Joe Biden's the president. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful. He did ruin my song.
He did. I think the last verse translated very well. I thought it was great. Picturing Dr. Jill coming in and just chucking things. That amazing.
How embarrassing that would be. You know?
For everyone, really.
For everyone.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into it, that's great. But I mean, everybody, the Secret Service agents don't want to be there.
No.
Also, that's the second mention of a sex cult in this show. So this is a very sex cult heavy show today. I
what a way to start your Monday.
Right? Cup of coffee and talking about sex cults
to your system.
Because I mean, really, aren't all cults sex cults? Like deep down.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking for that one cult that's not a sex cult. Like I just want a cult where I can
Matt,
like,
let's
not
stop
worry
looking
about all
for
my
cults,
stuff.
please.
Stop looking for cult. Okay, I'm sorry. I just want the one cult that makes me feel really good about myself all the time and has no seedy underbelly. Like, I just want that. Like, that's what, I want to move to a small Wyoming town next to another small Wyoming town and just live there.
I think that might be Kanye West's new venture.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's
that's
true.
definitely a sex cult then.
You should start Kanye West.
Yeah, a low cussing, high culting, good time. That's our new tagline for the show.
Anyway.
Yeah. Do you have any more cult songs? I would love to hear some more cult songs.
Matt, stop trying to start a cult.
I mean, if I started a cult, it would be all above board. Like, it would be, let's just feel good about ourselves and put all our money and personal possessions into my band. No, it's okay. No, I hear myself say it. It just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work.
So you talked about like your love for country music. What are some of your other kind of musical inspirations or musical? What's the word I'm looking for? Influences. Thank you, Jay.
You're so welcome. It gave me a minute to stall and think about how I would answer this question. I truly listen to everything. I love, like R&B. I mean, the number of times I say to Alexa, please play Sade, is just, you would think I'm having like a really long session with myself. And it's really not. I just want to hear Sade. But yeah, I would say my influences, I love the new folks that are coming up. Like, she's already arrived, but Lizzo, her music is so fun and funny and cheeky. I love Rico Nasty, who I think, my God, Real is so fun. So yeah, I don't know. It's everything. It's everything in between. Listen, I'm gay, so I listen to Kylie Minogue and Celine and Cher and Madonna any time of the day.
Yeah, I mean I believe that's standard listening. I believe you get something in the mail, right? That is a list of artists that you have to know their whole discography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It really is true. I was saying yesterday to my friend at brunch, there is one way to know that your parents will know you're gay if you have certain CDs. They're just like, oh, you requested that for for me, it was in 1997. For Christmas, I wanted Celine Dion's Let's Talk About Love album. It was all I could want in the world. And I just think at that point they had to be like, yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are worse albums, I'm sure.
Yeah. And better.
And better. Better than Celine Dion? Don't let her hear you say that.
No.
She watches this show. She watches
She does. She left me a voicemail just yesterday. She said, "Jan, you go on this show, and I will say to you, best of luck."
Oh, that's a really good Celine Dion impersonation.
I used to do a whole show or a character, Celine Dion, doing comedy, and she would come out and she'd go, some people say to me, Celine, you should not do this. You should not do the comedy. And I would say to you, it's okay. I will do it.
I told you before the show started, I did, as I was doing my research for the show, as I said, about 45 minutes before the show started, I looked you up on YouTube. I followed the links until I ended up on your YouTube, and I saw your character reel from 2017. And a guy that just ran a race, I think, was my favorite character. Was like, yes, I know I'm sweaty. I just ran a race. Won't stop talking about how he just ran a race.
It's unfortunate how based in reality that is for me, because I love to run races. I do half marathons. I do triathlons. I love it so much. I really do. I wish I were joking. But just because of that, I keep thinking every time I show up to like drinks with my friends, I'm like, so sorry, I just did my 12 miles. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I got a carb up, so I would love the lox, bagel and lox, and I'll have a martini. Why not?
Of the pasta plate, the spaghetti plate.
I just ran so much.
I just ran, so
I want to refuel.
Yeah.
This is a negative, you know.
Quick shout out to Met Comedy Night. Good morning. Thanks for joining us this morning. Just popped in. So let's hear another tune, Jay. What do you think?
I would love to play another one. This one I just released. You know, I do a lot of my comedy is like these short, 1 minute little things that can do well on, Instagram Reels or TikTok. But every once in a while, I'm like, oh God, I just loved that song. And so my producer and I will just like make an extended mix of it. And so this one is just available on Spotify, Apple Music. And it's I'm gonna sing an acoustic version of it for y'all.
Oh,
right?
yes, please.
I can't wait.
Everybody's talking, I don't know what they're saying. It almost feels like I'm missing half the conversation. Scrolling up the group thread, searching for a message, cannot find a reference point. There can only be one logical explanation. Oh no, there's another group chat without me. Another group chat without me. They're probably all talking about me. They're probably all talking about me. In this other group chat without me. This other group chat without me. The only thing worse it couldn't be is if they're not even talking about me. Oh, I had this group chat on mute. This is my fault. I just didn't see the messages because it was on mute. I'm sorry I wrote that song.
No, that was like it hit very close to home. Like so many group chats out there that just like I mean, that's a lot to
It
keep
happens
up
a
with.
lot in improv because you'll have improv groups that are like, there'll be two separate groups, but they're only like two different members.
Yeah.
And so you can't keep track of which one is having which conversation.
Yeah. It's just confusing. Nobody has time for that.
It's funny when if you go to my Instagram or my Twitter, you'll see the video. I actually had a group chat do that to me, like where I'm like, wait, what? Were you hanging out last night? Did I miss something? And we posted, when I posted it, our other friend who wasn't there that day, commented on it, and she was like, the irony of this is like, I'm literally looking at the group chat that's without me. They're like, I love you, Pam.
Yeah, well, I mean, music is real. Like art is life.
Always based on reality.
The best art speaks truth.
So Jay, do you have anything coming up new that you're wanting to plug, or just general plugs?
Just
about
general,
what you got going on.
I don't, hopefully once spring gets out here, I'll be hitting the road, going to Brooklyn maybe. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. And yeah, I just, like my silly videos. It makes me so happy to make people laugh. And so I would love more people to entertain.
Well, Jay, I would love to have you back on just the channel in general to share more of your music, because it is so fun and I enjoy it very much.
Anytime. Thank you so much for having me. I love Monday mornings. So this is the best. This is the best way to start my week. I'm not joking.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jay, and good luck finishing moving into your apartment. Congratulations on your new apartment. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. What a delight.
There's another group chat without me.
Yeah. Check it. Check out all of Jay's stuff on Spotify and
Yes.
app, and then
It's
once you
so
listen
fun.
to it on Spotify, go to Apple Music and buy the damn songs, so Jay can get a little scratch from that.
Yeah.
We're nearing the end of the show. We still
We're
have
getting
some.
there.
We're getting there. We still have some things to cover. First of all, I'd like to do some birthdays. So let's do some
Oh,
birthdays.
birthdays are important.
Yeah, it's a big one today. There's a one in particular birthday that I'm very excited about. Happy birthday to Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Ruth Bader
RBG, RIP. Happy birthday. Also, Eva Longoria and Will I Am, which I didn't realize this until I put this in the spreadsheet. But if you put Will I Am into your browser, it is a website.
What? That doesn't end in .com.
It doesn't, but it goes to here. Let's see. I'll see if I can pull it up here. It's really cool what it does go to.
I'm relieved. I'm relieved that you said that it was a website, because I thought you were going to say Will I Am is actually William.
That's not what I was going to say. But this is the website that it goes to. It's I am /Angel Foundation, and it's about the education crisis here in America. So go and put Will I Am into your browser history or into your browser and check that out.
Cool.
How about that, huh? I was like, oh, this comes up as a hyperlink, and then when I clicked it, I was like, oh, cool. That's a neat thing that I did.
Clever marketing there.
Yeah. Let's see other birthdays this week. Tomorrow is Flavor Flav and Alan Tudyk. I love me some Alan Tudyk. Wednesday's birthdays: Nat King Cole, Kurt Russell, Rob Lowe. Thursday we've got Vanessa Williams and Queen Latifah.
Wow.
And then Friday, Glenn Close and Bruce Willis.
Wow.
So we've got some big birthdays this week.
Yeah. I've got a couple birthdays. I got my friend Kathy Beaker. Happy birthday, Kathy. And I believe Billy Rutecki, also known as Billy Get Wrecked Techie.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Billy.
And a friend of just everyone here in the Boston comedy scene, Kieran Grumley. His birthday was, I believe, yesterday, or maybe it's today.
Birthday, Kieran!
So happy birthday! Also, looks like Met Comedy birthday is on the 19th.
Wow!
So happy birthday, Met Comedy Night. And evidently that's Boof's birthday as well. Holy cow.
Birthday buddies.
Let's see. That is, we won't be able to say happy birthday to you on the 19th because, well, we don't have a show then. But happy birthday early.
Early birthday.
From the Hello World crew.
It's last day of Pisces. It's the last day of Pisces.
It's the last day of
19th.
Pisces is the 19th. How about that?
Yeah.
Also, if you have any birthdays that you'd like to send us so we can shout out on the show itself, you can email us at that'stoomuchbread@gmail.com. And speaking of emails, you can also get signed up to be on our our newsletter. We have a 2MB newsletter. We don't send out a lot of stuff. We send out just kind of the weekly schedule. We're not going to spam you. But here in the chat is the link for that as well. So feel free, head on over to that link. It's a Google form to get our once a week newsletter. That's it. Just once a week.
Vital information and nothing else.
And nothing else until, we get super huge. And then you're going to just start getting emails every day.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, let's look at our trivia. So the trivia question, for those of you that didn't see it at the beginning, is Three's Company aired from 1977 to 1984 with 172 episodes. Can you name the two less successful shows that were spin-offs? So we've talked about spin-offs before.
We were talking earlier about how Frasier is a spin-off from Cheers.
That's right. That's right. And
Wait, and Cheers is a spinoff of Boston.
Of Boston. Just Boston. Not Boston Legal. Just Boston.
Just Boston.
So let's see. Yeah. So Booth Wellington, a little out of his element here with this one, I think. Four's Also Company and Five's a Crowd. Those would have been great names for those spinoffs.
Probably would have been better shows.
Yeah, it's true. The spinoffs were, in fact, The Ropers, which had 28 episodes, and Three's a Crowd, which only had 22 episodes. So compared to the 172 episodes of its parent show, neither of these shows did very well at all.
Goof was surprisingly close.
Surprisingly close. Yeah. So if you would have said Three's a Crowd, you would have been right. But you didn't.
It doesn't even differentiate it that much from the original show.
Yeah. I think that's what they were going for. They were like, oh, we could do this and they'll think it's still Three's Company. And then people watched it. They're like, this isn't Three's Company. Yeah. And evidently the Ropers did not do very well.
What was the Ropers about?
I mean, the Ropers. Mr. Roper was the landlord of the apartment where the three of them lived. I haven't seen a lot of Three's Company.
I haven't seen any of it.
But of those 172 episodes as well, I think, did I say 172?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Jack Ritter, or no, John Ritter. John Ritter was the only actor in that show that was in all 172 episodes. Wow. So yeah, R.I.P. John Ritter. I love John.
R.I.P.
Jack Tripper was his name on the show.
John Ritter was Jack Tripper?
Yeah, it's a little confusing. It's a little confusing.
It's a little bit.
So that's our show, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming on. Big thanks to Brock Wilbur and Jay Malsky for coming on the show. Big thanks to Rachel Jane Andelman for booking the show and just being an all-around amazing human being. And thank you all very much for watching. Once again, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, and we will keep doing shows. We got a ton of shows tonight. We've got some great shows coming up this week. We've got a special show, musical comedy night is coming up this weekend, which I'm very excited about. Our special guest host last week, Gwen Coburn, is putting that together. So keep your eyes peeled onto the station for more info for that. Chloe, do you have any final words of wisdom for us tonight or today, this morning?
Oh, I'm just going to repeat what I said earlier. When you get your vaccine and you're dating again, don't forget to tell people where you are. Actually, just generally, don't forget to tell people where you are.
Just let people know where you are.
Just let people know where you are, emotionally, physically. Just let them know where you are.
Yeah, just let them know. And with that, have a wonderful day. Goodbye, world.
Goodbye, world.